It is early, it is cold, and it is dark, and it is the first ever Sandhill crane hunt for 14-year-old Emmanuel Chavez and his 11-year-old brother, Izaiah. They are taking part in the youth-only crane hunt on the Bernardo Wildlife Area. This comes after completion of a hunter ed course and moves their education from the classroom to the field, from book to blind. One of the first lessons is the hardest. They learn about patience. The anticipation makes the minutes after sunrise move slowly, makes the birds flying just too far off that much more frustrating, yet exciting. And finally, they have their first shot and first miss as the flock flies off. For this youth-only outing, their father is with them, but only to help, not to hunt. Patience eventually pays off and the birds fly by again and again. Sometimes the shot isn't there, sometimes the gun isn't ready. And when it is ready, it can dish up a surprise for a young hunter.
That thing kicks hard.
Yes, you could say the youngsters were getting a kick out of their first hunt, but they weren't having much success in the early going.
I was behind that one, I guarantee you.
Again, lessons about patience and perseverance pay off.
Right in front of you, right here. There he is.
Oh!
Oh! Good job. Nice. Oh. I like this.
The limit for this hunt is 3 crane, and after a long morning of effort, both of the boys have bagged their birds. The successful hunt included new lessons, but also applied key lessons learned in the hunter ed course.
Safety, definitely. And blinds, they're really useful. And the way you set up a blind and stuff like that.
The youngest hunter was impressed by all the birds that flew over their blind, but a bit surprised the hunt was so challenging.
I thought it would gonna be sort of easy with how big the birds are, but I learned that it wasn't. It's not as easy as you think.
Despite the very early morning start and the cold, the kids thoroughly enjoyed their first crane hunt.
It's pretty adrenaline pumping, actually. You wouldn't think of it like that, but it is. It's just its own feeling in itself.
It was like a rush.
This hunt doesn't end with the retrieval of the birds.
Wow, that's a big one.
This youth-only hunt includes a responsibility for the young hunters to bring their bagged birds to a check station.
Tail is 201.
Here, Game and Fish representatives gather data about the big birds.
First of all, again, it contributes to our management of the Rocky Mountain population of sandhill cranes, but it also begins to provide some incentive, some recruitment and retention opportunity for young hunters to try to bring more hunters into the waterfowl and migratory bird hunting arena.
Taking various measurements and determining gender of the sandhill cranes helps closely monitor the harvest. This is vitally important for species such as the greater sandhill cranes because of their smaller numbers.
63. Tail is 229.
These tests can provide information that will establish harvest quotas, hunt dates, and bag limits.
Essentially, we look at, as with any harvest, hunter harvest success rates and so forth, and then we use that to try to plan for future hunts as well.
The expressions on the faces of the youngsters who carried birds into the check station had the crew convinced they had succeeded in their additional goal of recruiting the next generation of hunters.
Based upon what I saw today in the young guys that were coming through with those cranes, I think they'll be back next year.
And gathering up their birds to head home, the young hunters didn't seem likely to disagree.